Hello and welcome back to another episode of Girlie Giggles with just myself and Maxine. How are you, my babe?
I'm all right, my love. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. It's been a busy week, innit, darling?
Just a bit. Just a bit.
I'm going to start today because I think I can for a change. I'm going to start today. So this week has been pretty intense, to say the least. We've had New Moon. We've had Lionsgate Portal. We've obviously stepped into these really profound energies of August that are going off right now. I was supposed to be moving into an apartment today, all fell through. I'll share a little bit more on that in a little while, but you know, the divine is working her magical plan as always. What else has happened this week? An incredible meditation. Sunday night we did the most incredible meditation that really helped humanity. On top of that, there's some really interesting information coming out. Epstein is like making a surface where Prince Andrew's concerned, Andrew Cuomo, the New York, like it's all coming to the surface.
He's just resigned, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's had to, right?
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of information. We are seeing a lot of changes going on, and this is exactly what we knew was going to happen. We knew this month was going to be chaotic. We knew this month was going to be, you know, loaded with information, but it was down to whether the people would take a look at it or not. So my week has been like a freaking roller coaster, you know, looping the loop, constant loop the loop. I don't know about yours, Max, but mine has been a constant loop the loop. But it's an exciting ride.
Definitely.
It feels so exciting right now. I'm literally being asked out on dates all over the place. That's back. Every intention that I'm setting is coming in. You know, I asked very clearly, do you want me to be in this apartment? Then it fell through. And I'm like, oof, this is such an interesting dynamic that is going on right now. So this week for me has been loaded with gold. I have connected with some of the most incredible light workers and starseeds on the planet to shift the timelines on Sunday. But then there's real incidents of darkness that's being shown to me. And I'm like, thank you for showing that. Thank you for showing that. It's very interesting right now. So Max, let's hear from you. Any vibrations in the post office?
So the post office is still quiet.
Okay.
The guy I went out on 2 dates with, he popped in, you know, and said, you know, when we planning on going out again? Now, normally I would have said, oh, you know, I'll let you know, or I'll phone you or whatever. And I just said, it's not happening for me. To which he was completely gobsmacked. He didn't think that, you know, he thought he was all right. I said, I'm not feeling any sort of vibrations where there should be any. After 2 dates, there should be something. Absolutely nothing, love. So, no. But thanks for the 2 nights we did go out, 2 dates. And he said, oh, you don't know what you're missing. I said, I've got a good idea, and I'm quite glad I'm missing it. But thanks for showing me. But he's been in a couple of times since, bought some milk, you know, that he probably doesn't need because he said he doesn't drink milk, but that's beside the point. Cougar Crush came in and said, oh, my mum's been in. I said, yes, she has. And I don't like her. I didn't like her at school. I don't like her now. I said, did you send her down? He said, no, I just said I've met a woman at the post office. Didn't say which one. I said, I'm at the bottom of your road. It's going to be this one. Anyway, but he's nice. He's a good laugh. He said, oh, my mum's all right, Mardy cow. And I said, well, she hasn't changed since school, you know, and I'm 55 now, so it's a while ago. Then we've had, who else has been in? Oh, Copper Chris.
Oh.
Haven't seen him for a few weeks.
How's he doing?
He couldn't take any time off. Remember I said he was told no holidays until the second week in August.
Yeah.
So, but the way his shifts worked was not the time I was in the shop, so that's why he didn't come in. He's fine. He said that his friend in the Met, who gives him intel, has said they've called off the hunting down protests. He said they were expecting some really mass breakout. You know, after the last one where we said it was a bit dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that was the dark one. He said, but the police made that dark. He said that it started dark. It was meant to be dark.
Yeah.
And he said, and now what they're saying is, if anyone wants to protest, they're not to go in heavy-handed until it reaches a certain time. Do you remember the last time when I said 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
That's what they've been told again. They're not to go in heavy-handed. They're to make it look like they're serving the people. And you'll be given certain times for the next one.
Wow.
So I said, all right, so we're reverting back to that. So we can march peacefully. But he said, I said to him, what, who's giving this information? He said, oh, people at the top. And it filters down. And I said, well, do they have like meetings? He went, oh yeah, they get called into meetings every couple of days now. It used to be once a month. Yeah, with the latest intel.
Right.
So I said, and because he's now in the know, he's passing it back to his mate who's saying, yeah, I know, but we have to do our job. The guy he talks to in the Met is 2 years off retirement and he's worried. So he is following orders.
Oh.
That's the only reason. He said, if I wasn't due to retire, he said, I won't be doing half this stuff.
Oh, okay.
But he says a lot of people in the Met know exactly what's going on.
He wants
but
to
they
take
just can't.
attention.
Yeah. Which I said, well, good luck getting that. Because the way things are going, there will be no pensions.
Well, there are no pensions, are there?
No, not at all.
To be honest, why do you think they're getting rid of the older category of people, you know?
Yeah.
Gosh, wow. So what's really interesting, Maxine, and I'll be really interested to hear what Copper Chris says next time you see him, because I'm not sure if you were aware or not, but there was a protest in London yesterday. I didn't go to it.
Was that the BBC one?
Well, it was an old BBC studios, but it's now the ITV studio or something like that, where Loose Women is on Channel 3, right? Not 1.
Yeah, ITV, yeah.
So it was there because apparently Loose Women was being filmed when they got there or something along those lines.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be a live show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on every day.
Yeah. So I'll be really interested to hear what he says, because it was a totally, from what I could see, obviously I wasn't there, but from what I could see, it was a totally different type of gathering. It was predominantly men, from what I could see, and just from the videos, but it was almost constructed that certain people had roles, if that makes sense.
Oh, yes. Like a movie.
Yeah, so people would hold the police so certain people could get inside and go and have the conversations. Yeah. And then there would be a series of men that would hold the line between the police and the people.
Got you. Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I'll be honest with you, I watched a few of the videos and I actually felt quite proud that they had been able to organise it. But then I saw a few other bits and I felt a little bit disheartened, I'm going to be honest, because there are people signalling to the police. Yeah. And it's, you know, giving head signals and stuff. And I really truly feel that there is a small congregation of men that really, really believe that they are doing the right thing. And they probably would be if they didn't have these certain people in there.
Did you actually recognise anyone there as any of ours?
Well, so I know a few people that were there because they sent me videos, but I obviously, because I've been to so many, I know who kind of like the influencers are that are there. Yeah. And there was, you know, there was a few of the big names there leading it and whatever, which is great. But then there was a few of the ones that, you know, the ones that were a bit like, what's your agenda here?
I'll ask him about that one because he didn't mention that. But obviously this was yesterday, it happened. Monday.
Yeah, yesterday the protest was. It started at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, so I haven't seen him. I won't see him now. It's probably Thursday. I'll ask him on Thursday.
Yeah, ask him. I'm really interested because it looks as if there was a little bit, not too much, but it looks as if there was a little bit of argy-bargy between the police and the people. Right. But there was, you know, a few paras, like retired paras that were there. And things like that, so it almost feels like the right dynamic. It just doesn't feel like the action was maybe the right action if that makes sense. But I just want to say I don't know what they should be doing. So the fact that they're doing something is really, really amazing. Like, and I just want to make that really, really clear. I'm not putting these people down, none of that. And what was quite interesting is Piers Corbyn was there and everybody was calling him out.
Yeah.
Obviously because of the money that he accepted. So and there was somebody else there as well. I can't remember who it was. Somebody else was there and they were calling them out. And it's almost like, you know, this the cleansing is really starting to take place. People are really starting to use their discernment. But I admire these people, Maxine. I mean, I've shared my views with you. I'm not going to get involved in that. The time I will get involved in it again is when they go to the centres for the kids. Like that for me, I will go there, like to Pfizer and AstraZeneca headquarters or whatever. I will be there with bells on because you know how I feel about that. I actually feel, and I've said this many times on my Instagram lives, it's time for the men to step up and lead the whose side are you on, get the police on our side, and then start doing the citizen's arrest. That's I don't know how to do that, and I don't know what to do with that. But I feel the men and ex-military and people like that are the right ones to be doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, they know their stuff.
Yeah.
They know their
stuff.
stuff.
There's a way, and they've been trained in that.
Exactly. And with all due respect to me and you and other people like us, we've got no freaking clue.
No.
You know, and
I wouldn't want to attempt it without their help.
No, exactly, babe. And you're an ex-solicitor. Do you get what I mean? So if you,
I mean, mine is jumping out of bushes and, you know, and pinning people against school gates.
No, you're a stalker.
Yeah, definitely. But he hasn't made an official complaint against me yet. But they're back at school.
Next term.
They were in today for exam results.
Oh.
So, and I decided to go for a walk there this morning, you know, just around, waving away at people.
Of course.
He wasn't there. He didn't turn up today.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently he's on holiday. He's back the week before school opens.
Right.
Which is when they're going to reopen the centre. Yeah. Well, no.
Well, 2 birds, 1 stone, right?
There you go. Well, I'm going to go to him because I've written a reply to a letter they sent me a while ago, and I'm going to say I'm hand delivering it. Good. And that will be my excuse to get in.
Yeah.
Because I've said to them, rather than email, I will hand the letter to you. And he hasn't come back and said no. But yeah, the vaccination thing came down, sign. That came off. But then it's going back up. I can't remember what date he said. I know it's a Monday, so it's not going to be next one. It's going to be the Monday after. Because then we've got the bank holiday and then they go back to school, don't they?
Yeah. Bang
early.
On.
Yeah. Well, something I have to mention, George was 18 last Friday.
Oh, happy birthday, George.
Bless him. He had a great time. It was really nice. I just had family round, a couple of his friends, and they hired an apartment and had a party for him there.
Beautiful.
It was great. Yeah, he had a great time. He slept all day Sunday, which was a good job because I wasn't here to feed him. But, you know, they were saying about the 16 to 18-year-olds, they were going to put that into place. George had a letter in May offering him his when he was 17.
Wow. So
they had already done it. They did it ages ago. And he spoke to a few of his friends and they've all had one.
What's interesting, Maxine, on that topic is I saw something today. I don't know where it was, but it would have been on social media somewhere. I don't know if it was Facebook or Instagram. But I actually saw a letter that a lady had posted that was addressed to her 5-year-old child, inviting him for the thing. Like a 5-year-old. And
it's frightening.
The letter alluded, and I don't know if it was like the message that the lady had put kind of alluded to the fact that her child maybe had learning disabilities or something like that. And he was being invited and he was 5.
Yeah, see, that's my concern with Connor. Because of his learning disabilities, he'll be invited to have one. And when I spoke to his mum, who's really taken on board everything I've said over the last 19 months, she said her worry is they'll do it at school when she's got no control over him. And she says, I can't homeschool him. She can't cope actually having 2 children, she struggles with that.
Yeah.
So it's a break for him to go to school rather than him be educated. So I said, well, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to homeschool him. Maybe he needs to come and live here and now homeschool him.
Yeah. Or Maxine, what you need to look into is other parents in the area where you can all like almost take it in turns homeschooling, but you have a group of them maybe or something.
Yeah.
That's what I would start to do.
But the thing is, the parents that my cousin speaks to are all for it.
Oh, shame.
That's the problem. We're trying to get her moved because she was attacked last year. She went to get some cash out of the bank. She'd only just given birth to Jacob, who's now 1. And she was assaulted. They pulled her pants down and everything and robbed her while her baby was in the pram next to her. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, they caught them, but they pleaded not guilty. They were caught on CCTV because they got their hoods up. It's not definite. But victim support have got involved. So I've gone to victim support and said, right, the one thing you can do for this lady is move her out of this area and move her near to me.
Yeah.
So we've been and found some places that they could move her to, and one is less than 5 minutes away.
Perfect.
So if I can get her here, he can be homeschooled by me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'll do. If that's what it takes for him not to have it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's 8, but you know.
Well, you know, my 2
yeah.
little half sisters are nearly 9,
Yeah.
and there's no way.
No.
They will be having it. You know, they will get taken out of school before any of that happens because it's just.
There's no way I can do it.
But what's shocking is that they've banned homeschooling in France, haven't they? And they've banned homeschooling
I heard
in
that.
countries.
Yeah.
That's like next level.
Mm. But Rita's son, who came over from France, I said to him, oh, how'd you get over? Was everything all right? Yeah, it's fine. I said, were you not stopped? He went, no, I know I'm not. He said he just sailed through. Oh. So I said, but I thought they'd really crack down everything. He said, oh God, don't believe everything you read. I thought, oh, me and you are going to get on for the next week while you're here.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's here sorting out all the stuff.
Yeah.
He said, no, he went in, no thingy. He's not having that. He didn't want his mum to have it.
Yeah.
But he understood why she did.
Yeah.
He's actually a really nice guy. So I think that's the reason Rita has passed and he's come over into my life.
Yeah, of course.
Because we're going to get on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how old is he, Max?
How old is he? He's about 60.
Okay.
Not fanciful at all.
No.
But he has a beautiful mind.
That's nice. And how come he lives in France?
He's been there, oh God, it must be 15 years now. He got a job there and just stayed.
Oh, good.
Divorced now. He was married, but he's divorced now.
Nice.
And his wife lives in Scotland.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about Rita, I think, because
bless the cottons.
So Max actually reached out to me yesterday and just kind of said we need to put Girlie Giggles on ice for a day if possible because her beautiful neighbour Rita had passed. And Max wants to share a little bit of information on that. But before we go into that, I just want to talk a little bit. And I don't think she passed of COVID. We don't think that, do we? No. So just wanted to give a little update as to there's a lot of people out there that seem to be getting this respiratory flu bug or whatever it was that I had. But I also wanted to update everyone that I had my blood test done and it came back positive that I had the antibodies. So, and what I found very, very interesting, and again, I've said this on an Instagram live, I think, or somewhere, it actually said CV19, not coronavirus.
Yeah.
Which I was really shocked about because the legal side of that, the legal implications of having that on a medical certificate when it's never been isolated is illegal, surely.
Well, I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've got, the fact that it has come back to stay positive is quite good because they fiddle most of the other results they send out.
Yeah. So
to get one that's, is right, which you knew you had anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, coronavirus is in every cold, flu and pneumonia. All of that, those kind of like bugs that we get, like it's in all of them. So of course I was going to have it. I just found it very interesting that they were that specific on the certificate. So let's just go on a little bit further. So Rita, your next door neighbour, was double jabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember when they were?
Her last one was June.
Okay, so she had her last one in June and she passed on Saturday?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Okay, so give us a bit of information. Give us a bit more information on that, Max, because I know when we were speaking beforehand, you know, it's a bit of an interesting situation, isn't it?
So she was 82, 83.
Yeah.
Fighting fit. Always out in the garden. When we and 5 years ago, she's not my next door neighbour, by the way, she's on the next road.
Sorry.
5 years ago, I did a will for her. And we always laugh because she's always got a top of the range car. And she likes to drive around waving at me because my car bits fall off it. And she always said, I'll leave you my car in my will. I said, oh, you're all right, I'll keep the Pratmobile a bit longer. So, you know, she was always out and about. But when we hit lockdown the first time, she said because all the neighbours stayed in, she felt obliged to stay in. So I did a shopping for her.
Yeah.
She used to go around twice a week, go in. She wasn't bothered about that. She'd invite me in, you know, drop her shopping off. And she's never ill. She's not been ill. But when it came out about I didn't see her for a couple of weeks because somebody else was dropping her shopping off for her. But she'd phone me at the shop and say, just drop me some milk off or my lottery ticket. So I didn't know she'd had the first one until a couple of months later when she said, I'm going for my second one. And I said, oh, I didn't know you're having it. She says, I know what you said and I believe you. She said, but my neighbours are sort of hassling me a little bit. Now, at the time, I did want to go around to every one of those neighbours and say, leave her alone, but I couldn't. So she had it. And within a couple of weeks, I noticed she'd got a swollen foot. And I said, oh, what have you done to your foot? She said, don't know, woke up this morning, it's swollen, but it's fine. I'm going to rest it today, put my leg up. And I know before you say anything, no dairy, no red meat, and drink plenty of water. So a couple of weeks later, I saw her and it had gone down from that foot and come up on the other foot. And she said, it's like I've pressed that ankle and it's popped out that side. So then she said she'd started to feel a bit dizzy and a bit anxious. Her heart was racing a little bit. So I said, right, just take your time, because I thought maybe a few weeks after, you know, you may get symptoms of it. But then she was fine, apart from her face looked a bit chubby. You know, it's like inflamed a bit and all down her neck. She was quite slim. Anyway, then I woke Sunday morning, had no kids here, so thought I'm going to have my water and get back in bed and have a lazy morning. But when I first woke up, I heard her voice saying, I've run out of milk, but there's no rush. So I thought, you know what, instead of staying in bed and being lazy, I'll pop round and see her. And the neighbour was there in the doorway and said, oh, sorry, she's died. And I said, oh, no, when? And she went, just now, which is like the most horrific thing to hear. And I thought she meant, you know, they'd taken her and she'd gone. So I walked in the house and she was still sitting on the ruddy sofa. So, and she looked really peaceful.
Oh, love her.
And she got a cup of coffee next to her that was black. And it was still warm. So I knew she had run out of milk. But the neighbour was a bit, you know, didn't know what to do. So I just phoned an ambulance, said, you know, she has passed away. It's quite clear she's gone. Her lips are blue. You know, there's definitely no signs of life. We'll get an ambulance to you. So I just sat there. And it sort of got to 2 hours and I was starving and I knew she'd got fruit. So I had to go and eat a banana and some grapes. And I thought I did talk to her and I said, look, Rita, I'm not being funny, but I'm absolutely starving here. And those ambulance men are taking the mickey. So I'm going to nick some of your fruit. Anyway, when the ambulance men came and obviously checked her over and said, you know, we'll take her. I said, oh, you're all right. Can I ring the funeral director now? According to the new rules, don't know how long they've been in place, I can't do that. Even if I was the next of kin, they have to take her to hospital so they can get a certificate to say that she's died.
Wow.
And then she goes to the morgue and then they ring the funeral directors. Well, they ring the next of kin to get the name of the funeral directors for them to go there. Now, this is a hospital that is overrun They haven't got enough staff. They're all passing out with fatigue. But they've got time to mess about with all of this when all I had to do was ring the funeral directors less than 10 minutes away to come and fetch her. So I did argue with the paramedic, but eventually they took her away. But they put her in a bag, which I thought was wrong. Yeah. She should have gone out on a stretcher. Yeah. I mean, it's quite open, but the ambulance was right in front of the house. Yeah. So they could have even parked on the drive right by the door. Yeah. So nobody would have seen it. But no, they actually put her in a bag, and I thought it was a bit inhumane. I know she's not there anymore, but it's not, I thought it was awful. But no, you can't ring a funeral director now.
Wow.
They have to go there to be faffed about to come back out again. And I just thought, you know what, I've just sat this one for 2 hours. If I'd have known, I would have rang the funeral director. Yeah. Rather than an ambulance. Yeah. I would have certified her dead myself. I mean, it's quite clear she was dead. Yeah. I mean, when they went to her, I said, I can't understand why you would take that. It's quite clear she's dead. Her slippers are stuck to her feet because rigor mortis is setting in. Yeah. No, these are the new rules. But 2 hours to get to us. So they've been so busy.
Wow, this is crazy, right? So there's all these new rules in place. Yeah. You know, something else that you said before we came on, Maxine, which I found fascinating, is you said that there's been 4 people in the last week who have passed.
Since last Monday.
Yeah.
And one woman had a heart issue. She'd had it for a while. So she got someone to come to the house to do it. So hers were late. So she didn't have her second one until July. Wow. Took a really bad turn for the worst. And they got her a hospital bed at home. So the daughter looked after her. They had to get carers in. They gave her morphine at 3 o'clock. She was dead by 4. She went into some sort of shock, anaphylactic shock, which really frightened my friend. And then my friend went out of the room because she was a bit upset. And when she came back in, the carers had gone and Mum was dead. But the carers had gone. And she said, I just walked in and I just thought my mum looks a funny colour. And then when there was no pulse, nothing. So she ran out and got the carers back in, who confirmed that she'd actually died. Massive heart attack. That was last Tuesday. Yeah, so literally, as I came up here on the Monday, that was Tuesday. She came and told me.
Wow.
And then we had a guy who, another one, developed leukemia.
Oh gosh, we're hearing.
Had no sign of it before.
We're hearing this a lot.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, the first one, I thought maybe he didn't know he got it, and now, obviously, because it could be lying dormant for ages.
Of course.
No.
But this is.
Yeah, there's too many.
At some point, we've got to stop and say there are too many coincidences for this, you know, to be a conspiracy or whatever people are calling it. You know, there is too many coincidences right now. Oh, that poor man. Well, both of them. That's just tragic.
Yeah, and, but I mean, my friend was like, you know, they came in to give her just a bit of pain relief so she could be calm. I can't remember where she said the pain was, because obviously she was suffering with heart disease. Yeah. And I'd said to her, why would you give your mum that when she's got heart disease? She said, because I need to keep her alive. Yeah. And I said, but that will kill her. And she said, oh, I'm not believing any of this. And I said, but your mum hasn't left the house in 4 years. Your dad doesn't leave the house. You're the only one, and you only come in my shop to get a paper on a Saturday morning. You don't come any other time. Your shopping's delivered and it's left in the porch. But no, so, but yeah, it was awful, because she said, I didn't know. I walked in the room after letting the carers out. And I just thought there was something odd. She wasn't moving. But to go into that state of shock, she was flailing her arms around. Her head was back, mouth open, tongue hanging out. Yeah. Eyes in the back of her head, you know, that sort of thing. And she's nursed her mum for all these years, and she said it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah. So, but then obviously the other guy was leukemia. Who was the other guy? There's another guy died. Oh, yeah, he was due to go in a care home for respite care. And he'd been in before, but he'd been out for the whole of this time. Yeah. But his neighbour was getting worried about him. He was supposed to go in. They were coming to collect him on the Tuesday. On the Thursday, and he died on the Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah, died at home.
Wow.
And I don't know, I haven't found out what he died of yet, because she hasn't been in to see me. But it might be a bit soon to find out.
Blimey, it's really intense what's happening at the moment, right?
Yeah.
It's really,
I mean, if I didn't work in the shop, I wouldn't know any of this.
No, of course. And what was really interesting is when you were just talking about all of that, I'm like I'm hearing of people getting sick and being diagnosed with things, but I'm not hearing about anybody passing. But I feel that is because most of the people that I connect with haven't had that.
Yeah.
You know, it's only my mum, my stepdad, and that portion of the family, like, you know, my dad, all of this side, and all of my friends, none of them.
But the other thing that I have noticed, and it was Sophie that told me, because obviously she works in a nursery, is that kids were getting coughs and colds before they broke up, which always happens because they're now tired.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they've done the school term. But instead of just getting a cough and a cold, it was tonsillitis. The doctors were diagnosing tonsillitis in all these children.
My friend who had the Rona at the same time as me has now got tonsillitis.
Yeah. Another lady came in the other day. She had similar symptoms to the Rona, not quite as bad as yours, but it's turned into tonsillitis now. Yeah. So the kids are getting tonsillitis. That was what was strange. And I thought, oh no, they're going to start it with that now, aren't they? They're going to say that's a symptom.
Yeah.
That'll be the next thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating. It's super fascinating what's going on, Maxine.
I'm just glad I'm in the job I'm in at the moment. Because obviously I was going to leave. I was looking for something else, but I have to stay for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel it's going to reach a climax in the next couple of months because the booster's coming out next month. And
there's so much happening this month though.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, but little, like you were saying, little bits of information are coming out.
Yeah.
We couldn't make it any more clear to some people, but there are others that, because they believe every single word, are still coming back and saying it's those anti causing all of this.
Yeah.
But then you got the cruise ship. You got the cruise ship where they all got sick and every single one of them.
Exactly, because they can't go on the ship unless they're double jabbed. You know?
Donna's daughter, she's the same, because obviously she's got an agent, and they've said, you know, we can't, they won't even let you audition for a cruise ship, which luckily she doesn't want to do. But and then now they're actually putting it out there to tell you the cruise ship are contaminated with this, and they haven't been in contact with anybody who's not.
And this is the funny thing. People will still believe that this is the answer.
Yeah.
You know, like...
one lady said on a group chat thing, I came out of it because I thought they were all idiots, to be fair. She put, that's because the people on there were mingling with the auntie before they went on the cruise. It's been sailing for quite a while now, hasn't it? The one that I saw anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, the whole point of this is so it doesn't matter who you stand next to, you're safe.
Yeah, supposed to be, but it's not. And they've actually outwardly said that it's not going to stop you catching it and all the rest of it, because I actually know a lot of people who have had the Rona since the second one of this.
Yeah.
And I'm
but also they've dropped the percentage down now. It was something like 89% of you not being hospitalised with the Rona is now down to 43. 43. Yeah.
Oh wow.
See, I've got a lot of friends send me stuff, but sometimes I can't access it until a couple of days later.
Yeah.
So this would have been probably Sunday. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's now down to 43%.
We have got such an interesting period of time coming, I feel, next month. I mean, this month is far from over and we've got a lot of stuff to wade through.
There's so much going off in the States. So much.
But I feel next month and going into October is where we're really going to start to see the aftermath of what they are bringing out next month.
Yeah.
We got to stand in our truth, everybody. We just got to keep standing in our truth. We really, really do. We've just got to. I just don't even know. We've just got to keep up the good work.
I just keep looking at my field in Wales and sitting in it.
Yeah.
And that's my joy.
Yeah, good for you.
So when someone tries to bring me down, I take myself to that field and I just sit in it.
Good for you.
And it's brilliant, because you can get so bogged down, especially where I work. You got people going at you constantly. I just don't. I literally can't hear them.
Do you know what you've just said there is really interesting, because as you know, I was supposed to be moving into an apartment today, and the apartment block that I was moving into was a big complex. Like, it was a massive complex, escalators, lifts all over the place, beautiful big gardens that you can go and sit out the back and stuff. So it was a massive complex. And yesterday at about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, I can't remember what time it was, but I messaged you. The apartment fell through. Like, it all just fell apart. I couldn't move in today and all this stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I actually felt as if there was too many people in that complex for me and my energy, because I wouldn't stop all day and all night. I'd be trying, my soul would be off trying to fix these people. You know, and I found it really interesting, and it's interesting that you just said that then, because I actually really look at it as a gift. Don't get me wrong, it's stressful, right? Obviously, yesterday I was like, oh, I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. And then last night I stumbled across quite a cute apartment and another couple. So I've been to see them today, and all of them were amazing. Do you get what I mean? So I really do believe at the moment everything is happening for a reason, and we have to trust whatever is going on. Like, we've really got to surrender right now and just trust that everything is happening in divine alignment, because we can be stubborn and we can try and control things, and we're just going to get the resistance. So anything that's coming up right now, we've just got to let it go and say thank you for this lesson. And that's what I did yesterday. And really interestingly, like I said, today I went to see an apartment and I was like, I could be here. And interestingly, every single, this is no word of a lie, my house, my apartment in Wimbledon, and another place I can't remember, all of them were number 5. And today one of the apartments I went to see was number 5, and I was like, of course it was, of course it is. Get what I mean? So we've just got to surrender right now, like release the ego, step into a space of love, especially, I mean, I had deliveries booked, I had removals booked, I had to cancel it all yesterday. So you can imagine it's not an easy thing to do, but at the same time I was like, okay, thank you for protecting me. You know?
Yeah, because you weren't meant to be in there.
No,
not with that.
Clearly bloody not.
No. Clearly
not, because I don't know, I just feel I feel relieved, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What you weren't meant to be in there.
No.
Because the right one, like number 5, turns up.
Funny.
But it does,
yeah. Yeah, because tomorrow I might find out that number 5 is now my new home. And the interesting thing about it, Max, right, is it literally went on the market yesterday, because they'd taken it off of the selling market. It went on the market yesterday, and I was the first person to see it, and it's everything that I need.
Perfect.
No more, everything that I need to basically live. So,
which you wouldn't have seen had you moved yesterday into a complex with a load of people, and you would be one of those sitting up at night going, for God's sake, please leave me alone for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And what's even more beautiful is that the couple that were moving out of this apartment that I saw today are moving into a bigger property because they're having a family. So I feel like I'm helping them. Do you get what I mean? I'm not just helping some businessman or some whatever, you know, who's just got a load of apartments. I'm helping a couple that are renting out their apartment so that they can move into a bigger home for their family.
Perfect. That meant to be. See, they just keep sending you stuff, don't they?
They do. They do. And it's so beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I spoke to you in the morning yesterday, didn't I? And I said, something's going to go wrong with this. Like, I just know. Like, I don't feel I'm going to be moving tomorrow. And I came to my dad's yesterday morning because the twins are going on holiday. They're going to the Bahamas for a couple of weeks, you know, as you do.
Yeah.
Like, their big sister can't go on holiday, but they're going to the Bahamas for 2 weeks. And I walked in and I said to my dad, I'm not moving tomorrow. Like, I'm just not moving tomorrow. And he's like, oh, that's all right. The girls are away for like 2.5 weeks. You can just stay here. And I'm like, that wasn't the answer. Like, you were supposed to say to me, Lucy, of course you're going to be moving. But ladies and gents, I haven't moved. I'm blocked, so I'm back in my little sister's room again. You know, staying here. Hopefully, like I say, tomorrow they'll call me and they'll be like, yes, of course, we're going to rent it to you, and then hopefully I'll be in within a week. But
oh, that's good. Yeah. So if you can please let me know that you're definitely moving into that one, because I feel like I'm apartment hunting. I don't see any of them. I just get a message. Fucking hell, it's gone on again.
Isn't it fascinating? Because what's so interesting, and ladies and gents, you're probably thinking, Lucy's not meant to be in this country. I know my future is maybe not in this country, right? I know that is definitely, but right now I know I'm supposed to be learning how to be settled and have roots again. I know that is the lesson that I'm supposed to be doing. So it's just interesting that they're knocking me into certain areas, because where I've looked today is a totally different area that, I'll be honest, I didn't even know about. I was at a friend's place about a week or so ago, and I saw this place, and when it came up I was like, oh, that might be okay. And the apartment's beautiful and it's fully furnished, so it means I don't have to buy anything, or
oh, so you haven't got to do anything, even better.
Literally I can just move in. So yeah, it's all just everything is just working out, you know. And clearly I'm not supposed to be back in that area, because that's the area I used to live in. So clearly I'm not meant to be there. Clearly I'm supposed to meet new people and do whatever it is that I need to do. So I'm just trusting it. And the reason I wanted to share that, guys, is I know it's challenging right now with people passing and people making decisions that we don't like. Trust the process. Trust the process, relax, feel into it, be present. Just know that, you know, whatever is meant to be is going to happen for you. Like, nothing can stop what is meant for you.
That's true. Totally true.
We just got to surrender, babe, haven't we?
Yeah. Everything now that happens, you know, I just think, right, okay, just take a step back from it.
Yeah.
I've still got my feet, still got my hands, so, you know, I'm all right.
Absolutely.
And then I went, and then something usually happens, not necessarily straight away, but within a short space of time, something happened. Go, thank you. Yeah, realise it now.
And it's humbling when that happens, Max.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I actually run around like a lunatic when it happens.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's funny, because before we just went off on that little conversation, I was thinking we're going to have a celebration when I actually get in the apartment.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
I'll come down in my Pratmobile or Rita's car if she's left it me. Get there quicker.
Yeah, for sure. You're always welcome. You're always welcome. Anyone's welcome at mine. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that on here, should I? Not everybody's welcome at mine. Oh, Max, it's a pleasure as always to speak to you, babe.
Oh, it's lovely.
I'm so sorry to hear about your neighbour friend. I'm so sorry to hear about those 4 souls, but thank you to their souls for doing their contract and doing everything that they were sent down here to do this lifetime.
As we say, they chose to go.
Exactly. And anybody else that's going through anything like that, just know that my arms are wrapped around you. And I just wanted to bring into your consciousness that we're doing another meditation on the 13th of August. So if you want to be part of that, check out my Instagram stories, check out my Facebook stories. I will put the details below here. And Max, maybe send me over your details so people can follow you as well. I'll pop that in the description too, if you obviously want them to.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know about you, Max, but next week I think we just need to laugh the whole
the whole thing, because today was death. And you know, much as I love you all, and Rita, thank you very much, she'll be screaming at me saying, well, that wasn't very funny, was it?
Yeah, we needed to speak about this stuff today. They're just consciousness. So next week we'll be back roaring. I'm going to bring some tales of my dating, because Lucy's back dating.
Oh yes, I've given up on those. I'm having, whenever you date, I don't.
Oh, come on.
I know I've got a week off.
All right then, guys, I love you all to the moon and stars. Maxine, thank you very much for being here with me. We will be back next week with you. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and comment anything that you would like us to speak about below. We will be seeing you next week. Lots of love, everybody. Take care. Have the most beautiful day.